Hey neighbors, today we're just gonna do a little bit of maintenance on the lawn. If you wanna keep that really awesome lawn, you just gotta do a little bit of maintenance on it. That's mowing a couple times a week, keeping them edges really sharp, and we're just gonna do a little bit of maintenance today. So come on with me. Oh, hey there neighbors. Glad I caught you here. Today we're just gonna talk about a little bit of maintenance in the yard. You know, maintenance goes a long way. Whether you're mowing every other day like I try to, or every 24 hours like I'm actually going to today, or just once a week. Proper maintenance is vital to keeping that nice, green, lush lawn. So I got a couple tools out here today we'll talk about to keep that upkeep going. You know, one of the most important things to keeping a nice, green, luscious, thick lawn is actually mowing. The more you mow, the more it's gonna grow. So just remember that, and the better and thicker it's gonna be too. So that's why it's so important to mow. I always encourage people to at least mow twice a week. I know some people that's not realistic, but if you can get 2 mows in a week, you're gonna be doing yourself a lot of favors. So let's check out some of these tools. I have here my Ryobi weed eater. It's actually an expanded kit where you can put a edger on there. I used to have the Ryobi edger. I moved to the Ego, but the Ryobi did me a great job for many years. So I got the Ryobi weed eater. I got the Ego. It's actually the multi-head where you can change out different heads on it. I have the edger attachment on here. I got the Ego blower, and honestly, it doesn't matter what brands you get. Whatever brand works for you. These are brands that I like. I really like the Ego, the power behind them. The Ryobi's been a faithful tool to me. I definitely recommend at least the 40 volt Ryobi. I had the 18 before, it just wasn't enough. So it really doesn't matter which tool you get, just get the ones that work for you and do a great job. These are the ones that do a great job for me. So again, the Ryobi weed eater, I got the Ego edger, I got the Ego blower, which does a great job. And I got my California trimmer reel mower right here, and I love this thing. So it does a great job. It's super user-friendly for a homeowner. Watch how quickly I can change my height of mow. So if I want to change my height of cut, all I got to do is pull this lever out and change it. And now I've raised it up and lowered it down. So just one lever away and you can change your height of cut. So it's super easy, super user-friendly, and it's definitely a great starter reel mower for people. And the price is reasonable too. So these are my tools. This is what we're going to use today. Let's check it out. So it's the age-old question, do you weed eat and edge first and then mow? Or do you mow first, then weed eat and edge? For me, I always mow first, then weed eat and edge, and then I blow everything back into the yard to keep it nice and fresh. So for me, it's a mow first, weed eat and trim second. Just my opinion, don't kill me. So let's go and get started. And remember, this is a 24-hour trim, so I literally just mowed yesterday, and you can see I'm still taking some stuff off. You may not be able to see it. But I always start with the perimeter pass. a vital part of maintenance is the weed eating. I myself, I like to edge around and weed eat around my water meter boxes. So to keep them nice and sharp, I don't want to hide them. I'm not going to hide them anyways, it's going to look bushy. So I like to keep a sharp edge around them. All right, simple as that. Just take your time, go slow. The first time you do it, you'll mess up a little bit. I still mess up a little bit. You can weed eat that out or just hand pull it. It's hard for me to weed eat around the round corners without chopping into the yard. So you'll get better and better at it. It'll take you less and less time. It'll be easier and easier, and it'll look better and better, especially if you do it the first time. The edges will be easier to follow. So just turn your weed eater upside down, keep that vertical line like we always talk about, and run it across there. Give it a try. See what you think. The good thing about grass, if you mess up, guess what? It'll grow back. So just the way my yard is, I got a little high area right here where the mailbox is. And so I just want to make sure I take my weed eater, take my time, get that high edge nice and straight, weed eat up around the mailbox, and keep it looking fresh. So normally I would always run my edger around the front and on all the other edges, but I've been learning and liking using the weed eater on my front edge just because it's so deep. I like to run the weed eater along it, it makes that really sharp edge, but everything else I've been using my edger on. Let's see if you can see that nice sharp edge the weed eater does. So I just ran the weed eater along the front edge. You're welcome to use the weed eater for everything, but I'm gonna be using the edger today on everything else. See how she goes. All right, so now when you have edges like this, we talked about this before, I'm gonna say it again. Blow the dirt out of the edge you just created, and then come back and blow your edge up so you create that flat top. Show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna blow the dirt out of the edge first. So I'm just running this right down the edge. So now I blew all the dirt out of the edge. Now I want to come back and blow toward the grass to make that edge stand up. That way you kind of push the grass back. All right, hopefully you can see what we're doing there. We're blowing out of the edge, and then we're blowing the grass back to make that real defined deep edge. Another thing to do or not to do, don't blow your grass into your neighbor's yard. Come back and blow it back into your own yard. So now that I blew the dirt out of the edge to make that edge look really defined, I'm gonna blow the grass back to get that tall, flat top. So a couple courteous things. Don't blow your dirt into your neighbor's driveway or yard, and try not to blow it out into the street either. If you do blow it in the street, try to sweep it up. If it's just little clippings, it's not a big deal. They'll disperse out there. But if you've got a lot of clippings, don't just leave them out in the street, sweep them up. And it's dangerous for motorcycles too. That's another good thing about mowing every day or every other day. I know most of y'all are not gonna do that, but you don't have a bunch of clippings. All your clippings are like little fine powder almost, and they just kind of disappear with the wind, so that's a good thing. You definitely don't want to forget your mulch bed edges too. So turn your weed eater upside down, go nice and slow, keep your weed eater up a little bit so you don't hit all your mulch. Now you may hit sometimes and bring it down to your yard, but that's okay. Just go nice and slow. Keep your weed eater a little bit high so you're just hitting the grass and not hitting all the mulch. That's another reason why we want to keep our edge so deep, so that I can run my weed eater alongside here without flipping all the mulch up out of it. So I'll bring the mulch up just to the bottom of this edge, but my edge is deep enough to where I can mostly cut just the grass and not go down to my mulch bed. So I keep, these edges aren't as deep as normal, but normally I'll keep a 4 to 5 inch deep edge on here. That way it's easy to maintain. It's harder for the Bermuda to grow into my mulch beds. And when I run my weed eater across through here, it doesn't flip all the mulch up out of my beds into my yard. Then you come back and you just grab a little bit of Bermuda because it will find a way up out of there. So you can see how sharp that ends up looking when you're done. It's all due to the deep edge that I put on there, if you can see that. It's all due to that deep edge. All right, neighbors, so that's it. We did some mowing, some edging, and some weed eating, keeping that curb appeal looking sharp through weekly, daily even, maintenance on your lawn to keep it nice and green and looking like it's been cut and fresh all the time. Why? Because you cut it and it's fresh all the time. Appreciate y'all subscribing and watching. See y'all next week. So that's what it's all about, keeping everything fresh cut, trimmed up, and edged up to keep that nice, beautiful look in your lawn every day. See y'all next week.